Monsters fans, welcome to another edition of Monsters OT, presented by the UH Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute. Happy to be with you back here on Valley Sports Great Lakes. As you can see, a little bit different setting here today as the Monsters are on the ice behind me preparing for a tilt with the Grand Rapids Griffins, but we've got a big show for you and a whole lot to get to. Coming up, we'll take a look at the Monsters' signature annual fundraising event, Tip a Monster, which was a very fun evening in downtown Cleveland at the Metropolitan at the 9. We'll also hear from women's hockey superstar Ella Shelton, who was with us to talk about the first year of the PWHL and her role with PWHL New York, her connection to the team. She's dating Monsters forward Josh Dunn, and she was kind enough to take a few minutes. We'll also have a familiar face in our Monsters Alumni Spotlight, which is presented by True North Convenience Stores. But as always, let's get things started with headlines. Get right into it with headlines because there's no way around it. The Monsters have hit a little bit of a rough patch here, and they've fallen out of first place in the North Division standings. At the time of this recording, it's Syracuse with a 2-point cushion atop the division, and really everyone is in the mix still as 14 points, all that separates first place from 7th place in the North Division standings right now. So the Monsters, as they cap what is a very long homestand, we'll talk about that more in a minute here, they're going to need to get back into the win column here to get themselves back where they want to be, and that's atop the North Division. Next up, let's take a look at who's on the move. And lately, the Monsters have benefited from the return from Columbus of a couple of key defensemen. I'm speaking of David Jiricek and Nick Blankenburg. Both in late January were assigned by the Blue Jackets to Cleveland. Jiricek has been in a couple of games and certainly had a massive performance in a recent Monsters game, which we'll talk about in a second here. But Nick Blankenburg on this assignment has yet to get into the lineup for the Monsters as he recovers from an upper body injury. But there's, no question that those two guys are difference makers at this level, at the next level too, and the Monsters lucky to have their services on the blue line. Next up on headlines, let's talk about the AHL All Star Classic, as the Monsters had quite a contingent of representatives at this year's event out in San Jose, California in early February. Trent Vogelhuber, of course, as the Monsters were in first place heading into the All Star Classic. He coached the North Division team at the event, and he had 3 of his own players on the roster in goaltender Jet Greaves and forward Trey Fix-Wolanski, along with defenseman Jake Christensen, now a 2-time AHL All Star. Lots of fun was had there in the skills competition for sure, which is always a hit with the players. Jet Greaves was outstanding at the event in net, and that's a tough thing to do for a goaltender to excel at an all-star game with all the talented goal scorers that he's competing against. But with Iowa's Jesper Wallstedt, Jet shared top goaltender honors at the event, and really everybody had an experience to remember. We spoke with Trent Vogelhuber upon his return from the Bay Area and the All-Star festivities, and he said it was really a special time for him and his players.
Yeah, really good experience. Never been to one of those before, so really cool, and it just made it more special to have the big group of guys that we did with the 3 players, and had quite a bit of Monster staff there as well. So we traveled out there together, and it just made everything a little bit more special having the big group guys.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Just to be able to share it with Jet, Jake, Trent, and then meet so many great players, so many great guys around the league, face them in a game and in the skills competition. It was a great experience and something I'm sure none of us will forget.
The skills competition, what were your events again?
I did fastest skater, accuracy shooting, breakaway relay.
I think the fans love those skills competitions, but those have to be fun for you guys too, right? Because you can still be competitive, but also everyone gets to show off.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I was going as hard as I could go for fastest skater and everything else. So I know a lot of the guys around the league were doing the same, and there was a really good competition in the games as well. So they all wanted to win and bring back the championship for their division.
Well, congratulations again to Trent, to Trey, to Jet, to Jake, and also to the members of the Monsters front office staff who were able to accompany those guys out to the West Coast. It's a whole lot of stuff to pack into a short trip out west in the middle of a busy season, but lots of memories made and lots of great recognition for guys who really deserve it at this year's AHL All Star Classic. Next up on headlines, we have to discuss what was a record-setting performance for the Monsters in a recent 9-0 home win on the 3rd of February against the Chicago Wolves. Now, Cleveland was coming off a 5-0 loss to the Wolves the game prior, so obviously they were motivated to flip the script in the second game of that series, but boy did they ever. The team tied an all-time franchise record for goals scored in a game, and they set a new record in terms of margin of victory in that 9-0 win. There were a whole bunch of players who had multi-point performances, led, in fact, 7 of them, led by David Jiricek, who notched the first hat trick of the season for the Monsters and had 4 points in that game. 4 points for Owen Sillinger in that game, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points for Carson Meyer. Certainly a memorable night, and for the Monsters, they really needed a boost there coming off that tough loss the game before. So that's one to think back on, 9-0. And not to mention a shutout performance for Pavel Chayan in net. His first of his pro career, made 33 saves and was absolutely outstanding in his first American League appearance since a recent assignment to the ECHL with the Kalamazoo Wings. So a big statement, signature win for the Monsters there. Moving on, though, on headlines here, let's talk about this homestand for Cleveland. It has been a bit of a struggle for the Monsters, a record-setting homestand of 10 games that stretched nearly 5 calendar weeks, and the Monsters really haven't taken advantage of all this opportunity to play on home ice. Monsters 3-5-1-0 through 9 games of 10 on the homestand at the time of this recording. The goal differential even at 31, but Cleveland, as a result of their performance, has fallen out of first place. They did so in late January for the first time since mid-November. So certainly for the Monsters, getting back on the road seems like something that they're excited to do here, as their road record remains outstanding and has been that throughout this season. And finally, here on Headlines, we'd be remiss if we didn't highlight the Monsters' outstanding attendance. They yet again are leading the league in average attendance across the AHL, the only club averaging more than 10,000 fans per home game. The Monsters at 10,336. They've had 15 crowds this year already of 10,000 fans or more. So certainly the fans, as they always have, are making the environment here at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse a hostile one for visiting teams, and that plays so majorly into the hands of the Monsters as they try to get the job done on home ice the rest of the way this year. Well, that's it for headlines, but we've got plenty more Monsters OT coming up, so stay with us. We're presented by the UH Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute right here on Valley Sports, Great Lakes. Monsters OT is presented in part by Labatt Blue. Welcome back on Monsters OT, presented by the UH Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute here on Valley Sports Great Lakes. Tony Brown back with you here, and as you can see, a little bit different setting for us today. The team's on the ice preparing for a game right now, so that means my co-host Brad Thiessen has his hands full as he is the goaltending coach for the Monsters. He's on the ice right now with Jet Greaves and Pavel Chayan, but we are soldiering on without him today. Up next on Monsters OT, let's talk Tip a Monster. This has long been the signature annual fundraiser for the Monsters Community Foundation, and this year there was a new setting here in downtown Cleveland for an event that the fans look forward to season after season. Let's take a closer look at this year's Tip a Monster.
Long is signature annual event for the Monsters and a key fundraiser for the Monsters Community Foundation. Tip a Monster returned to downtown Cleveland on January 30th after a multi-year hiatus, complete with a new venue, the Vault at the Metropolitan at the 9. Monsters players looking the part in custom newsboy caps that were auctioned off to fans during the event arrived to meet, greet, entertain, and dine with fans and supporters who are encouraged to tip the players for things like autographs, pictures, and special requests. Between numerous unique silent auction items up for bid and some special experiences available via a live auction, fans had the chance to support the work of the Monsters Community Foundation, all while mingling with their favorite players, getting to know the guys away from the rink. The Monsters would like to thank our outstanding hosts at the Metropolitan at the 9 for their hospitality and the passionate Monsters fans who make Tip a Monster a fan favorite event and an impactful one too, year after year, this season raising a record amount for the Monsters Community Foundation. To learn more about the Monsters Community Foundation, their work in the community, and to keep up with the Monsters year-round, visit us online at clevelandmonsters.com.
Well, lots of fun had at Tippemonster this year, and it really was a spectacular setting at the Metropolitan at the 9 down in the vaults. The fans had a chance to interact with the players, of course, dine with the players, which is always a big draw, but it's a great way for fans to get to know these guys away from the rink a little bit and get to know their personalities. So a lot of great fun there, and we look forward to that event every season. Before we take another break here on Monsters OT, we wanted to tell you guys about an important upcoming event here at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. I'm talking about the Monsters Blood Drive, which is coming up on Tuesday, February the 20th. Now, this is big. When you donate blood, you make an impact on your community, but also really the entire country, because your donation won't necessarily stay in Northeast Ohio. It will go where it needs to go to save lives. And it's not only that, but if you donate blood here at the Fieldhouse, Tuesday, February the 20th, you'll get a Monsters t-shirt as well as 4 tickets to an upcoming Monsters game. You can make your appointment for the 20th right now at clevelandmonsters.com/blood drive. Jock Calendar and myself are going to be there donating ourselves, so we hope to see you guys as the Monsters try to make a difference here in our community. We'll take a break now on Monsters OT, but when we come back, we've got a lot more show, including our Monsters Alumni Spotlight presented by True North Convenience Stores. It's a familiar face that I think you'll recognize. That and more coming up. This is Monsters OT, presented by the UH Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute, only on Valley Sports Great Lakes. Welcome back on Monsters OT, presented by the UH Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute. Tony Brown back with you on Valley Sports Great Lakes. Coming up, we've got our Monsters Alumni Spotlight presented by True North Convenience Stores. But right now, this was a really cool interview I want to get to. The Monsters had the good fortune of welcoming Ella Shelton, one of the top women's hockey players on earth, a gold medalist in the Olympics with Team Canada in 2022, a 2-time world champion. She was the 4th overall pick in the this year's PWHL draft, the inaugural draft for a brand new women's professional hockey league. She plays for PWHL New York and, of course, is dating Monsters forward Josh Dunn. She played at Clarkson University, and she got together with Josh when he was playing there as well. But an amazing interview here with one of the top talents in hockey worldwide. Let's check out our conversation with the great Ella Shelton.
Hi, my name is Ella Shelton. I play for PWHL's team in New York. I was drafted 4th overall, and I am from Ingersoll, Ontario. First started out playing boys hockey just in our small town, and it was a little later in my life that my parents took me to a larger city to play for women's teams, and then from there graduated at Clarkson University. From there we went and played in the PWHPA. From there we just kind of grew our name and our brand, and then this past year we have our PWHL league. From there, being able to play in a regular season has been something that I've been excited to look forward to and have that opportunity again. Yeah, it's been awesome. I think once I graduated from college, the only thing that was available for us was to play for our national teams. So that was always my focus coming out of college, and it's been super fun. I think I've grown as an athlete, I've grown as a player, grown as a person as well, and my game's really developed into something that I can, always go back to, and it's what's made me successful. I've had a lot of success with our national team, and I can't wait for more success with them. It's always such an honor to go and put on the Maple Leaf jersey and to be able to play in front of a home crowd too. It makes it all that much better because in Canada we just love hockey. Yeah, I think this year with the PWHL, it's come together so quickly, and the backbone that we have, the people behind the scenes that we don't hear about all the time, are really the reason why we have it here today. It's been a long journey for myself and for so many other people who have been in the thick of it for so long, and to have a sustainable and viable league that's going to continue past my generation and for future generations is super exciting, and I am so humbled to be in that inaugural year and make the most of it and hopefully help grow it into something, because it's not about the now, it's about what I can do to make it better for the future. It's pretty surreal. Every time I got asked that question, they always ask me to replay the moment in my mind, and I think I blacked out. All I remember is Alice Carpenter, she won the draw, just took the puck down the wall, and when you put the puck towards the net, good things happen, and Fortunately, I was happy enough to see it go in the back of the net, and to see the excitement on my teammates' face when that puck went in the net was something that's engraved in my brain forever. And scoring that first goal definitely ranks up in the top 5 moments of my career. Well, I didn't grow up with sisters, so to go into his family and be greeted with warm, open arms by 4 of them who all played hockey is amazing. Especially Jinsey, I think the 2 of us have kind of been on the same journey together, going to World Championships and NCAA tournaments and then Olympics, and now this PW journey together. It's been fun. Unfortunately, Jinsey and I have not been able to be on the same team together. We've always had to compete against each other, but it's been awesome to share that with someone who, you know, walks the same walk. And then to see his younger sisters grow up and want to have that as well. And the great things that they're doing at their colleges right now is amazing. And I hope that they just continue to do what they love. I think the biggest thing that I always tell young girls is just to dream big. I think that when they chase something that scares them or chase something that's so outside of their comfort zone, they find that they grow so much and they have this undeniable passion for something that they just want to continue. And I think when they find that, it makes them fall in love with life, makes them fall in love with their job. And selfishly, hopefully it's hockey, but if it's soccer or it's in the arts or it's whatever it might be, I hope that they just feel the utmost love for it and want to do it at the full capacity that they can.
What a treat to be able to catch up with someone who is making an impact on the ground floor of a new league in the PWHL. So Ella Shelton, we cannot thank her enough for her time, her insights. It was really an awesome opportunity for the Monsters to be able to chat with one of the best at what she does globally. We'll take a quick break coming up here on Monsters OT. Up next, we cap things off with our Monsters Alumni Spotlight as another edition of Monsters OT continues next on Bally Sports Great Lakes.
Honestly, I don't even have a preferred number. Everywhere that I've played, I've wore a different number, and they gave me 64 in camp when I first came here, so just stuck with it, and it's done me well so far, so might as well stay with that. My first number, I believe my first number was number 12. My dad was a huge Jerome McGinley fan. So right when I started playing like Tykes around like 4 or 5, I was wearing number 12. Player I was the biggest fan of growing up was Ella Shelton. He was a very skilled player for the Oilers when I was growing up, and one of my dad's buddies worked for the Oilers training staff, so he'd always get me like a Gatorade that Hemsky had drank out of, or tape that Hemsky used, and I thought it was the coolest thing. So yeah, I would say Ella Shelton was my favorite player.
Always expect the unexpected. You've got to be really good at changing on the fly, not worrying about things that have happened too much. It just every hour there seems to be something changing around here. So that's the nature of the beast, and you just have to go onward. I think it's a good lesson of just kind of living in the moment and being able to control what you can control. In season 2, I'd like to be more prepared. I think that comes with experience, and we've got our coaching staff and our whole staff here going. It's the same group, So just the preparation, I think, breeds more confidence, which that permeates throughout the whole group. So I think just that organization, preparedness, and everything that we do can get to a little bit higher level in year 2, and I think we're starting off on the right foot in that regard. Well, it's a young group. It's a young team, probably among the youngest in the league. So there's a lot of young, exciting, talented players that we're going to get to work with. But we're going to be skating fast and hard. We're going to be a forecheck team, a reload team, some other in time and space, and using our guys' offensive abilities, the best that we can. So I think we can expect hard-nosed energy and a fast hockey team.
Welcome back, everyone. One final time on Monsters OT, presented by the UH Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute here on Valley Sports Great Lakes from Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. I'm Tony Brown. Only one thing left to do on this edition of Monsters OT, and that's our Monsters Alumni Spotlight. It's presented by our great friends at True North Convenience Stores. And our Alumni Spotlight today features Trent Vogelhuber, as he, as the Monsters' current head coach, has a long history with the organization, dating back to his one season as a player, and he was here for the greatest season in Monsters club history, 2015-16, when he played a critical role in the bottom six of the forward group in staking the Monsters to that Calder Cup championship. All told, in his AHL career, played 267 games, spanning parts of 7 seasons with Springfield, the Monsters, and then after that a couple of years in the Colorado organization with the San Antonio Rampage. His career stretched from 2011 to 2018, and then he served as an assistant coach with Cleveland after he came as a training camp invite in the 2018-19 season. That was his first as a coach and assistant with the Monsters. He spent 4 seasons as an assistant coach, did the one-time Miami of Ohio Star, and then on to becoming the 7th head coach in Monsters history on June the 8th, 2022. Of course, an all-star coach this season and a guy with a super bright future, and he's turning a lot of heads, not just in the hockey world in general, but in the Columbus organization. So we are so lucky to have Trent Vogelhuber at the helm for his 2nd season, and hopefully many more here with the Monsters. Is truly a great Monsters alum. Well, that's it for our Monsters Alumni Spotlight. Again, thanks to True North Convenience Stores. And that's it for another edition of Monsters OT. We've got a lot of great thank yous to hand out today. First and foremost, to our crew, led by Leo Simone, Jeremy Hawks, and the rest of the best crew in all of the business. In addition to that, thanks to Ella Shelton for taking a few minutes to help us out, and to all of you for being a part of the show here again. I'm Tony Brown here at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, saying thanks for watching another edition of Monsters OT. We're presented by the UH Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute. We'll catch up with you again soon, right here on Valley Sports Great Lakes.